Am I the astronaut for not providing my son with money for the book fair? Background information: my former partner and I separated for multiple reasons, and as a result, our son, 9, has experienced periods of his father being absent, leading to feelings of abandonment and diagnosed by his therapist. His father has not provided any financial assistance or participated in co-parenting. When I was going through a difficult time and asked for help, he simply told me to figure it out. Currently, he owes me over $25,000 in unpaid child support. I have since remarried and have been with my husband since my son was 3 or 4 years old. Although we are not wealthy, we are doing reasonably well. We both have full-time jobs, and we recently started our own business and purchased a house. We have always been generous with our son, he calls my husband Dad, buying him any books or toys he desired, as long as he maintained good grades and followed the rules. After my son's father re-entered his life last year, he began exhibiting behavioral issues due to his disagreement with my rules. These rules, such as brushing his teeth daily, making his bed in the morning, and properly washing himself in the shower, were met with resistance. He argued that he should not have to follow these rules because his father's household does not enforce them. Like basic hygiene stuff? Well, okay. When I explained to him that these are essential life skills for him to be a functional adult, he expressed a desire to live with his father instead. I agreed to his request on the condition that he live within the means of his father's household. This meant no calls asking for new toys or video games, and he would also have to leave behind the books, toys, and electronics we had previously provided for him. Consequently, his living situation changed from having his own bedroom with a TV, an iPad, 2 Nintendo Switch consoles, a PS4, and access to any books, toys, and high-end clothing and shoes he wanted, to residing in a 2-bedroom apartment with his biological father, stepmother, and 3 half-siblings. He understood, and we made the arrangement, with him now living primarily with his father and visiting me every other weekend. Which brings me to today. My son called me requesting around $35 for the book fair because they can't afford it. In the past, I would usually send him with roughly $40 so he could buy all the books he wanted along with some posters. However, today I declined his request and reminded him of the agreement we had made prior to this move. I believe that if their household cannot afford to give him the requested $35, it is not my responsibility, as he made the choice to live that lifestyle. However, my sister believes that I am being mean, so I ask, am I the asshole for refusing to provide my son with money for the book fair? Nope. No, ma'am, you are not, because you agreed to this ahead of time. And I'm sure that I'm thinking a lot of what everybody else is thinking, and that's, Just ask your dad to give you the $35 and tell him I'll take it out of the $25,000 that he owes me. Don't know if you got into that conversation with him. How old is he? He's 9. Wow. 9 is early. That's younger than I thought it was going to be. I thought he would be inching up toward the teenage angsty years before having these kind of issues, but he made his choice. And 9 is young. OP, you could have bucked against this completely and been like, no, because obviously, in $25K worth of arrears, no court would ever say that he could go live with him or order you to do that or allow it until they made some kind of agreement. You essentially have forgiven that to allow him to go live there. So you didn't have to do this. You did it to teach him a lesson, and I think it's a valuable lesson worth learning here. He said this is what he wanted. You allowed him to follow through with what he wanted, explaining to him in great detail what it would involve. And yeah, he's only 9, but he accepted that. And now it's the follow through. And at this point, it is, either I show him that there are no consequences for choices and I give him the money, or I stick to my guns. I show him there are consequences for choices and actions and actually follow through with the lesson that I intended whenever I agreed to this in the first place. If you had given him the money here, you would have undone everything you had done prior to this to teach him the lesson. He would have learned nothing here. I'm sure it's uncomfortable staying where he's staying, especially in comparison to the bougie life that he had before. But if you allow him to do things outside of that agreement, outside of the conditions that he agreed to whenever he said he would go live there, then you are undoing the lesson that you're hoping that he learns. I think you have to stick to your guns here. I think you absolutely have to. And you say, this is what you agreed to. If you don't like it, you're welcome to come back here. And I hope that's part of it. I hope that's part of the conversation here to say, yeah, well, you can come back here whenever you're ready to, but this is what you agreed to.